students. Today I am going to explain you the third poem in your book Beehive, that is Rain on the Roof by Coates Kinney. So first of all, before beginning the poem, I am going to give you a brief introduction of the poet, that is Coates Kinney. Coates Kinney was born on November 24, in 1826, and he lived till January 25, 1904. And he was a lawyer, politician, journalist, and poet from the United States. Further, Kinney was partly educated at Antioch College, Yellow Springs, Ohio, and studied law with Thomas Corwin and was admitted to the bar in Cincinnati in 1856. After practicing law for 3 years, he became a journalist and worked in papers in Cincinnati, Xenia, Springfield, Illinois, and elsewhere. Among them, the Daily Cincinnati Times and the Ohio State Journal. He was a paymaster in the U.S. Army from June 1861 until November 1865 and was mustered out with the commission of Brevet Lieutenant Colonel of Volunteers, and he was a delegate to the convention that nominated Ulysses S. Grant for the presidency in 1868 and its Ohio secretary. He was a senator from the 5th district in the Ohio legislature from 1882 to 1883 and delivered a speech against the official railroad pass. He wrote poetry and his verses were collected in Keuka and other poems and lyrics of the ideal and the real. Of his verses, The Rain on the Roof, which was set to music, was the most popular. Now, let's begin with the poem. But before beginning, I'll give you a brief introduction of this poem. This poem, Rain on the Roof, presents the memories aroused in the poet's mind by the showers falling on the tin roof. Through a number of metaphors, the poet shows that the drops of rain falling on the shingles of the roof sends a train of thoughts running in his mind, and he is reminded of the way his mother used to bid him and his siblings a good night and put them to sleep, as all our mothers do. The poet connects his present with his past through the memories revived by the rain. From the title of the poem, Rain on the Roof, we can make out that the poem is about the rain, and the poet is talking of the memories he has of the rain, or the various memories which are associated to rain. So now this was the brief introduction, and now I will discuss the theme of this poem. What is the main theme of this poem? The theme is that the poet says that the rain has a healing power, and the musical sound of raindrops falling on the rooftop at night has the ability to revive sweet memories and rouse fancies in an otherwise busy mind. The rain thus soothes and comforts an overworked mind by taking it back to his lovely past. Some of our best memories in life are associated with the rain. So this is the main theme of the poem, and the main objective of writing is that the poet wants us to experience the rain and he wants us to admire the beauty of nature. So this was the main theme and the objective of writing this poem. Now we will see to the poem. The very first stanza says that when the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears, what a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. So, in these lines, first we'll see to the hard words. The hard words, like humid, means something which is full of moisture. As you can feel the humid these days in the rainy season, it is very much humid, and the humid shadows, their shadows refers to the moisture laden clouds which cast a shadow on the earth. The next hard word is hover. Hover means to move around something, and melancholy is sad. The word bliss means happiness. Patter means it is the sound of raindrops falling on the roof, and cottage chamber means the bedroom of the poet. So in these lines, or you say in this stanza, the poet describes his experience of rain one day as he lies in a comfortable, leisurely mood in his cottage and listens to the soothing music made by the showers of rain falling overhead on the roof. So here hover, as I told you, it is the humid shadows and it refers to the dark clouds which are full of water. So the poet is saying that when the sky is full of these clouds which are moisture laden and are full of water, and they are about to bring rain. So when such clouds hover around in the sky over all the starry spheres, that is the night sky which is full of stars, then at that time the poet says that the huge clouds which are full of moisture move around in the sky, and the sad darkness of the night is wiped off by the raindrops and seem like tears falling from the sky. So here the poet is calling the raindrops as tears. So it is a metaphor being used over here. Further, the poet says that now in these lines the poet is also comparing the raindrops to tears, and he says that the dark sky which seems to be very sad, it appears as if it is crying, and the raindrops are the tears that are shed by it. And he adds that it is a blessing to lie in the bed in his room, that is in the cottage chamber, and listen to the sound made by the raindrops falling on the roof. So the poet considers it to be heavenly or delightful experience to lie in the comfortable bed, pressing the head against the soft pillow and listening to the pattering sound of the showers of rain which are falling on the roof. And then further in the next stanza the poet says that every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start, and 1,000 recollection weave their air threads into woof as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. So in this stanza first we'll see to the hard words, the meaning of the hard words. The first word is tinkle in the very first line, which means short light ringing sound. Shingles means rectangular wooden tiles used on roofs, and echo is the repeated sound. And woof means weft, that is the thread woven across the loom. And the word patter refers to the sound of raindrops falling on the roof. We say that pitter patter rainfall. So busy, and busy being here refers to the human beings, and the poet here is referring, in this poem is referring to himself. So in this second stanza, the poet describes the impact of the music made by rain on his heart and mind, and he remarks that the tinkling sound produced by the rain falling on the roof tiles cause a resonance in his heart, and his heartbeats respond sensitively to every sound of the falling rain, and it is in his much occupied mind a large number of fanciful and imaginative ideas spring up. Innumerable memories of the past are revived, and it get entwined as if woven like a patchwork as he lies listening to the pattering sound of the raindrops. So we can say that the poet is expressing his feelings when he hears the raindrops falling on the rooftop of his house, and he says that every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in his heart. Whenever he hears rain falling on the rooftop, the sound repeats in his heart and in his dreams, and he has many different fanciful imaginations. And he adds that his sound of the rain falling on the rooftop creates many new different dreams in his mind, and he recollects many memories of the past time which flashes back into his mind as dreams. So he says that as he listens to the patter of the rain upon the roof, he has many new dreams in his mind, and the memories of the past come back in the form of dreams. So this was in the second stanza. Now we'll move to the third stanza. The third stanza says that now in memory comes my mother, as she used in years agone to regard the darling dreamers ere she left them till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I list to this refrain, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. So first we'll see to the hard words, the meaning of the hard words here. Now here in these lines, the hard word eerie means old poetic word. It is an old poetic word used for before, for mentioning before. Dawn means the daybreak, the very early morning time of the rising sun. And list means, list is the old poetic word for listen. And refrain, as I told you, the repeated part of a song or a poem. And here in these lines, the sound of the rain is called as the refrain, which the poet is using again and again. So in these lines, the poet introduces his mother. He says that he is dreaming of his mother, as he had told in the previous stanza that rain brings memories of the past, and it is the memory of his mother who is no longer alive. In the past, she used to love him a lot, as everybody's mother do, and she used to consider him a darling, and she would let him sleep till daybreak and have sweet dreams. The poet can still feel that his mother is looking at him as he listens to the song made by the raindrops falling on the rooftop of his room, and the sound of the rain makes him correlate his past with his present, and that is why the poet is moved by the sound of the raindrops on the shingles of his room, and whenever he hears the sound, it brings back the memories of the past, and he is reminded of his mother. Now you can say that as the poet is in his bed, he lies in his bed listening to the soft pattering sound of the gentle rain falling on the roof. Among many other memories, there emerges in his mind the memory of his mother, and he vividly remembers how she used to look affectionately at her children before she went to her bed. leaving them for the night to meet again in the early morning. And as he listens to the music of the rain, he can still experience the loving look of his mother. In fact, we can say that every night reminds the poet of the similar nights during his childhood when his mother was alive and showered love on him and his siblings. So this was all in the poem. Now we'll discuss the various poetic devices that are used in the whole poem, and I'll tell you the poetic devices used in each and every stanza. So let's see to the first stanza. So the first stanza says, so in the first stanza we can say the various poetic devices that are used are, first is alliteration, that is the repetition of the consonant sound in two or more consecutive words. So we can say you can see that in the second line, that is starry spheres, S consonant is repeated, humid hover here, H sound is repeating, press pillow in this line, that is in the fourth last line, press the pillow. So here P sound is repeating. Then you can see in the second last line, lie listening, L is repeated. So alliteration is very much visible in the first stanza, or we can see this poetic device alliteration in the whole poem, in all the three stanzas. Then the second poetic device that has been used by the poet in the first stanza is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia, as I told you, it is related to the sound or the use of sound words to create a dramatic effect and auditory imagery. So here patter is the use of sound words, and it is the sound made by the raindrops falling on the rooftop. Now another poetic device used in this stanza is personification. What is personification? As I told you, that when an inanimate object or a non-living thing is given life and it is treated as a human being, then it is called as personification. So here in this stanza, darkness has been personified when the poet says that it is sad. Then the last poetic device used in this stanza is transferred epithet. What is transferred epithet? It is the use of an adjective with a noun when it refers to another noun. So in the words like melancholy darkness, so in this phrase, that is the third line, melancholy darkness. So here the darkness is not melancholy, but it refers to the sad people. So these were the main poetic devices used in the first stanza. Now let's move on to the second stanza. The second stanza, again we can see alliteration in the words like busy, being, where B is repeated, their threads, where TH sound is repeating, and rain roof, here R is repeating. Then another poetic device used in the second stanza is again onomatopoeia. Again the word patter has appeared in this stanza in the second last line. So patter, as it is related to the sound of the raindrop, so it is called as onomatopoeia. And then the third poetic device used is personification, where we can see personification in the second stanza when, that is, recollection is personified in when the poet says that they weave dreams. So again, so here the poet has used personification. Then the last poetic device used in this stanza is again transferred epithet. And in which line we can see transferred epithet? When the poet says that the dreamy fancies. So here in the third line we can see, and 1,000 dreamy fancies. So in this, the poet does not mean that the fancies are dreamy, but it refers to the people who have dreams. So again it is transferred epithet. Now let's move on to the third stanza and see to the poetic devices. Main poetic devices used in the third stanza is again alliteration in the very first line. That is, memory comes my mother. So here M is again, the M sound is repeating. Then N in the darling dreamers. Here again D is repeated. So it is alliteration. And the second poetic device that is used is onomatopoeia in the last line. So here again the word patter is used, which refers to the raindrops falling on the shingle of the roof. So these were the main poetic devices which are used in the whole poetry in all the three stanzas. So this was the poem. Now we will discuss the main message that the poet wants to give in this poem. The poet conveys the message that the rain has therapeutic and healing powers and forms lasting memories in human mind of the sights, sound, fragrances and our experience associated with it, especially those involving our loved ones. And rain refreshes and rejuvenates us and forces us to recollect and relive our past memories. So this was all in the poem. Now we'll see to the question and answers of this poem. The first question is, what do the following phrases mean to you? Discuss in class. The first is humid shadows. Second is starry spheres. Third is what a bliss. Fourth is a thousand dreamy fancies into busy beings start. Fifth is a thousand recollection weave their air threads into woof. So here the first, humid shadows, refers to the dark clouds which are full of water. And starry spheres, as I told you, refers to the sky at night time which is full of stars. And what a bliss, here bliss means a blessing. Then a thousand dreamy fancies into busy being start means a thousand dreamy fancies. It means that the poet or the people start having varied dreams, sweet dreams. Then the next, a thousand recollection weave their air threads into woof. So it means that when people are asleep, the memories of the past come back to their mind in the form of dreams. Next, now the next question is, what does the poet like to do when it rains? So we can say that the poet likes to lay in bed and hear the rain falling on the roof of his room. Third question is, what is the single major memory that comes to the poet? And who are the darling dreamers he refers to? So in this we can say that the poet has memories of his beloved mother. When he was a child, he just remembers that her mother would put him and his siblings to bed and allowed them to sleep till late, and they had sweet dreams in their sleep. And darling dreamers refers to the poet and his siblings when they were children and had sweet dreams. They were loved by their mother and so were her darlings. Next question, is the poet now a child? Is his mother still alive? No, we can say that the now poet is not a child. He has grown up because he has siblings and he is an adult and his mother is not alive anymore. So these are the answers to the questions. Now the extra questions and answers I will be giving to you. But before ending, I would like to discuss the title, the title which is given to this poem, that is Rain on the Rooftop. Here the very title, which is a repetition of the sound R and N, and the long vowels A, I and O imitates the rhythmic pitter patter of rain on the tin roof. and the article the, which is used before the word roof, makes it a specific roof and the roof of the, and it refers to the roof of the poet's house. Thus the title is very much appropriate, as it is suggestive of the childhood memories the poet has of rain, and the rain has a magic like effect on him every time it falls on his room. And lying lazily in his room, he listens to the sheer music of the rain. It triggers 1,000 dreamy fancies in his mind, and thousands of memories come alive. In particular, the memory of the poet's mother putting her children to sleep at night is indelible in his mind. And every time it rains, the poet relives the golden moments of his childhood. Thus, we can say that the title of the poem can be termed as very appropriate. So, this is all in the poem. Thank you. I hope you all have understood the poem. Thank you.